Hello, hi. Today I have hiked down to Deep Creek Hot Springs, and it's about 2 hours outside of LA. Absolutely beautiful space. It's just hot springs flowing out of giant rocks and desert environment. You can kind of see a little bit here. Rushes by the river. I spent the last 2 days in Los Angeles, and I found that Los Angeles is kind of known for a place where beauty is rewarded. And I even find myself being a little self-conscious when I go into that town. Do I look all right? Do I look okay? Do I have the right clothes? I find myself having a little bit more of that consciousness when I'm in that space. And I spent the day at a pool party, and lately what I've been meditating on is my sense of validation from others, what it does for me, what it feels like. What is it that I'm chasing? Humans are inherently social creatures, so there's a part of us that looks for that validation, that belonging, that group energy, and that can be a beautiful thing. And I also imagine that a lot of people are also experiencing a thing where they want that external validation. It feels good. They do certain things socially to feel that validation, and it's a bit of a game playing with other people where maybe you behave a certain way, you act a certain way, or you're funny with them, or you have a great personality or a sense of humor, or you look beautiful, and the reflection in the group of people that you might find yourself in might maybe interest or amusement or some type of validation, maybe ignoring you, or uh, on the other end of the scale, even uh, making fun of you or criticizing you or somehow showing you that you don't belong to that particular group. And it's a game that we all play. And, on either end of that spectrum, there's some dramatic feelings that accompany that. So, what I'm looking at in myself is when I'm looking for attention from someone, or when I really want that validation from someone, or when I'm in a situation where I see someone that excites me in a certain way, and I want to uh, play that game, get a sense that that person likes me. It's wonderful when it happens. Absolutely wonderful. It feels kind of magical, excitement stirring in your body. And and then what happens when it's not there? Or what happens when something happens and it doesn't fully play out? Or what happens when it doesn't turn out the way that you'd hoped or expected it to? That same feeling of euphoria can turn 180 degrees and take you to a place where you don't feel so good. So the meditation that I've been doing lately is on what is that feeling inside? What is that internal experience, that internal effect that I feel when someone pays me attention, someone that I'm really interested in? And the question is, how does that feel inside you? Like, where do you feel in your body? I mean, it's usually like a visceral heart or stomach or throat kind of response. And then the question is, why is that dependent on the external? Is it possible to hold that feeling inside you even when you're not getting that validation, even when you're not getting that attention, even when things don't turn out the way you'd hope them to, or you're not the popular one, or the person that excites you suddenly isn't excited, or moves on, does something different, or is excited by someone else? A good question to ask around that is, why was their interest important to me? What is it about that interest that I wanted, and why is that an important thing for me to move towards or want or seek? I think another question could be, what's the feeling I'm after? Noticing what you feel when you get excited about someone, especially noticing what you feel when they are excited back and they really give you some attention. And what's that feel like inside? And what is it that you want it to feel like? See if you can get down to what that internal experience is. What do you tell yourself, or what becomes available in yourself when suddenly you get that attention? What What's your story become? What does it mean? Who are you? What's your internal dialogue turn to when you get that attention? So another game to play is, let's just say you're not getting that attention, or maybe the attention comes and goes. What can you tell yourself that gets you close to that feeling? Can you play with your own self-talk? Maybe a person compliments the way you look. Well, in the time when someone's not complimenting you on how you look, what happens when you compliment yourself on how you look? It may not be quite as strong and visceral as when someone else tells you, but you might feel something. You might feel something. And maybe start small. Maybe just say, I like my eyes. Or I like that I'm here. Or I like that I'm the kind of person that gets to be in this place among these people. Or I like the fact that I'm adventurous and I would find myself in this kind of scene. Or I like the way that I talk to people. I like how sweet I am. You might even start telling yourself about your physical appearance. I really like how strong I am. Or I like the way it's easy for me to hike a long time. Or I like the way I look in this bathing suit. Whatever. By the way, yesterday was by the pool, so it was kind of a perfect LA poolside experience where people are wearing their short shorts and their cute little outfits and having cocktails by the pool. And it's a beautiful environment, but it's also sometimes fraught with all kinds of mixed emotions. So that's the meditation for today. Seeing if you can notice when you're in conversation with people. The first part of the meditation is noticing when you're in conversation with people and what it is you're chasing. What game are you trying to play, or what's the end result you're hoping happens? And in that end result is, what is the feeling in the end result? What's important about that end result? And see if you can fish around and make that end result available regardless of anybody's attention on you. It's beautiful if you can just walk in already in that space, and then people might be more ready to recognize you as that. For an example, I talked to someone yesterday who said, when people talk to me, it makes me feel like I matter. Which is interesting, because the person who ultimately who is the decider of who matters? Who's the person that says, stamp, you matter now? And it can be pretty fickle when you place that in other people's hands. Now, I know this is a bit of a cliche, you shouldn't let other people decide. I think a lot of people understand this is a thing, don't put your self-worth in other people's hands. And yet it's so powerful, so visceral when someone validates you. So it's a bit of a muscle building. Can you hunt around for what that thing is that you're chasing through other people and find it within yourself? Now, this may not be something that's easy to do right off the bat. I mean, this might be a lifelong piece of work, but it's a worthwhile piece of work, because as you begin to find that sense of validation, and it's a little bit more complex than just saying, go validate yourself. I mean, it's a muscle to build. It takes a little bit of time to develop that interior sense. But as you do, you really get free. You really get free, and you really get to be a lot more authentic, and you get to be a lot more... It opens you up to the flow and grace of the universe to be able to actually get that muscle built. So have fun with this. I hope you get to go to some pool parties too, or some hot springs, and buy big floppy silly hats. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.